Are you wondering why A-Train Station is the sharpest sports betting platform ever made? Stay tuned. I'll show you. Welcome to Data-Driven Sports Betting. I'm A-Train Bets, and I use my brain to make bets. Now in this video, we're going to go through what A-Train Station is and what we do at A-Train Station that's just on another level compared to the competition. And it starts before you're even an A-Train Station member. If you go to our homepage, you're going to go through and you're going to see there's some videos and there's some interesting things that you can go through and learn about the station, just like any homepage would have you do. But there's a couple things that we do differently off the top at A-Train Station that nobody else does. The first is our Bad Beat Bonus Month. And our Bad Beat Bonus Month is when you have that first month of down results. Could be your first month, could be your 20th month. But it is going to happen to every sports bettor at some point. When you have a down month using A-Train Station, the first one you have, that one's on us. We'll pay for your next month. You'll get that next month for free. And that's how we invest in the people who are investing in themselves. Another thing that we do, instead of a free trial, we just have an open demo. You can go to this button here that says try our free demo, and you can use this at any time. I'm going to click on that, and what do you notice that doesn't happen? What you notice that doesn't happen is we didn't ask for your email. We didn't ask for your name. We're not going to spam you with a bunch of stuff. You can sign up for a newsletter, which we send out once every week or two. But that's it. We're not looking for your personal information. We want to just help you learn how to do this stuff. You can watch my live streams. You can learn the techniques. You can watch these videos. But when it comes to using the demo, we don't ask for any information. You just come to this page. Welcome to the A-Train Station demo site. Hit enter. Now you can come in and you can do things just like when you're an A-Train Station member. You didn't need to even provide an email address. You come in here and you can set your book weightings. You can pick which books you want to use. You can see our enormous list of books that we have on offer. You can go in and you can select how you want to assess markets. And we have videos that talk about how to use all these things, but you can go in and do it. Or if you wanted to go and just start, you can click on the play screen and just start looking at plays. So you can go into this and it's going to load it up and you can look and see, okay, what do we have here from data? Now, granted, the data is going to be a little bit older, so it's not the current active data. That's what makes the station so powerful when you're betting right now. But if we want to look and say, how would I analyze certain information? This is a great way to do it. You can go in and say, okay, let's check out this Orlando City money line, no overtime game. You see this stuff is all over the place. This is crazy. What's going on here? Right? And you say, okay, well, let's try to analyze the situation. We see a lot of books. We see a lot of bifurcated market. You see FanDuel's offering some crazy odds over here that's leading to arbitrage with the purple. You're like, there's too much going on. What do I want to do? Start clicking on these buttons. See what they do, right? Click on these and say, oh, that's what that is. Oh, that's what the EV bar is. Okay, that's what the R bar is. Okay, now that's a little bit easier to see. This historical range is a little bit in my way. Okay, let's clear that off. Now we can start to see it. But when we have the visuals here, this allows you to bring in so much information, and we get it. It's overwhelming at first. So turn them all off. Turn them off and start with all the things as simple as it can be. This is just the odds, right? In most of our competitors, all they do is show you some odds. They might give you a no vig line, right? They probably don't even give you the worst case devigging on one screen, but they'll give you a choice. Some of them will. But if they don't even do that, then we're already ahead of the game. But we show visually, where's their EV? We show visually, what's that range of devigging options? We show you which ones are in which spot. We can look at, okay, what are the average for the market of the odds? And you can see that visually. Where's the arbitrage opportunities that we have if we're interested in that? And I love using it because it'll help me see where there's EV opportunities. You know, do we want to see where the opening line started? Do we want to look at where the ranges of the odds have gone? Do we want to see that EV percentage on this screen, or does that just get in our way? You can always see it down here, right? You can go up here and you say, okay, we've got that. And you can look at the whole percentage. You can look at the width. You can look at the odds. What is the likelihood of winning based on our worst case devigging? You can play with these things and start to understand, oh, what does that even mean? Why would I maybe want to see that? But you could start as simply as you want, and you can do this now. You can go to the demo now and do this. That's where I'm at. So this is not hidden away. We want you to be familiar with it because we know the power in it, right? If you want to say, okay, let's just make Caesars the one sharp book on this line and see what that teaches us. Okay, we're still seeing too much with historical range. Fine, turn them off. Don't care about the arbitrage, turn them off. We're just looking for EV plays, 2.3 at FanDuel right now. Don't like it? Let's go back to edit. We can reset that. And now it's back to how it originally started. Right? So these are the things that you can do in the demo straight away. So I wanted to show you that because nobody else offers access to their computational platform with just less data, you can have that at any point. Get used to it. Take as much time as you need to learn this stuff and then invest. You don't have to invest first before you ever touch a trading station. I'd recommend you don't. Go in every day and look at some of the plays. So this is available to you right now as part of a trade station. But let's go back into our main version. Okay, so we're going to show you in the station just some of the features that set us apart from everybody else. It starts with the settings, and you're going to see some commonalities to other things that other tools are doing. We give you some additional controls about whether you want to use different windows or what your line movement tracking is going to be. These are things that we do just as our core settings. We use a devig method of worst case. We highly recommend that. We highly recommend you keep all of these on, but you can change them if you want to. And that's where at the beginning and the core ethos of what we do at A-Train Station is to give you flexibility. It's flexibility that you don't necessarily need to take us up on because we provide some pretty decent settings to start with. Now, you're going to have to enter your own bankroll. We can't default that. We don't know what your bankroll is. The Kelly multiplier, I'd actually typically recommend people start with about a 25% multiplier. I'm extra cautious with my bankroll size, and these are just little things. I mean, that's the thing that separates A-Train Station. It's a bunch of little things that allow you to add them together to do things that you can't do anywhere else. So this is where when we get to something like the weightings, so this is where you set what is the book sharpness. And book sharpness basically means how are we going to assess all of the information in the world to tell us what are the true odds? What are the true likelihood of an event occurring? Because if we can get to that, then all of our strategies can build upon that. And that is what we're doing here with our default weightings or what's currently set on the screen. And this is where we kind of give shares, votes to each of the books. Some of them we don't give votes to because of varying reasons. Sometimes they're duplicates. Sometimes they're just not reliable books. And then some, many we give one vote to, and some like Pinnacle, we give multiple votes to. And that does a couple things. It helps us orient and give a little bit more weighting to those books that are known to be sharp, and it helps bring them up to the top of the list so we can key off of them much more quickly. So when we look at the weightings, we can set, and this is a huge thing that nobody else says. The whole game of sharp sports betting is being able to assess market conditions. How could you not be able to switch which books you're using for which sharpness and have that be a core part of your strategy? And if you watch my live stream, most days I'm using multiple different versions of book weightings because I'm trying to find new plays with them where a different angle of assessing the market can lead to an identification of different plays. This is where being a sharp bettor with additional multiple sharp strategies comes from. That's why we do this, to make it customizable. When you go to the book settings, just like anything, you can go to the books and you can choose which books you want to find plays at that you can make their plays at. And so we can check on the ones that we might want to make plays. We can also choose to hide books. So you see all these books. We have more books than pretty much anybody out there, at least as many as anyone out there. But we have so much data that we have now that you can use at almost any book you might be playing at. And there may be some that we don't cover, but if you let us know, we will look into getting them. And this is where, just so many, over 140 books. And that is something where it is so essential because this is where you actually play. So we want to be able to bring in that data. We want to be able to bring in those plays for you to be able to go and make. So that's where this allows you to select which ones you want to have and which ones you want to see. So that's really key as well. So we have wager tracking and we look at things with some different math than what a lot of people do. This will continue to improve because today we're a little bit limited in how long we can view our results over time. That's coming very soon. But some of the calculations that we're doing, you're not going to find anywhere else. A lot of people look at CLV as, how often do I beat the market? And this is what, from today's point of view, how often I'm beating the market is almost 80%. But the weighted average of the bet sizing, the bets I've actually made, this is the number that tells you how profitable you'll expect to be over time. And if this corresponds pretty well to your EV percentage, then your strategies and your assessment methodologies are accurate. Again, a really important thing that A-Train Station helps you do that no one else does. So it's this kind of thought of saying, what does a sharp bettor really need? How many favorites versus underdogs did I play? What are my average odds? What is my average wager size? How many wagers did I put in? There's a lot of ways that we're looking at this that helps a sharp bettor, the sharpest bettors in the world, know what the results are and how effective their strategies are. So when we look at that, the other thing that we'll do is we have pages here that are specific to different promotions. Now, we happen to be recording this on a Tuesday, and FanDuel's Dinger Tuesday is a really popular baseball promo that is offered. So this is our first of what will be many promo pages, specifically geared towards helping you maximize a particular promotion that's very popular. FanDuel's Dinger Tuesday search is where you're betting a player to hit a home run in a game, and as long as you bet $25 or more on that player, for every home run that is hit in that game, whether it's from that player or anyone else, you'll get a $5 bonus bet. $25 bets, you usually want to do maybe a couple of them, and you can see, like we did 2 for today. We did the Angels and Houston and Texas and Philly. We got Logan and Brandon. We've got those 2 plays, and because we get $5 bonus bets for everyone else, because when we look at it, we can go group by game here, and you can see that in this game, our Dinger Index, so this is the expected number of home runs in that game, 2.4, you see Dinger Index of 2.75 in this game. And what we have is a little bit over 5. Now you can get up to 5 bonus bets across all your games. So the optimal play is about 2 players. This is why we do things like this, to make it simple to break down the situation and choose your players in this particular promotion better and faster than what you're going to do. One of the things that we talk about at A-Train Station constantly is how do we help you solve for your next 5 minutes and next $5? That drives everything that we're doing. Digger Tuesday search was something that was so popular with people. We're like, hey, let's create something optimized so that people can do this in a couple of minutes instead of taking 5 or 10 minutes like they might have done otherwise. And you have a more quantifiable basis for the people that you're choosing in these plays. Like we had a positive EV play that we added the promotion to. This becomes a 28% play. This one's a 30% play. So these are things that we've chosen to do because the data and the math are telling us to do. And we just bake it into the station for you. Right? So if you go to the main page, now if you're watching any of my live streams, you're going to see me do this all the time. So we start with the plays page, right? So we've had our books, we have our weightings, we have the things that come in. And what we're going to do here is we're going to look at different plays, and you can set your search criteria or whatever. We have videos that cover all the details of using this. But what you see here is information that's oriented towards the sharp bettor so that you know what you are looking at, what you're getting into, and which plays you're going to be most interested in seeing. Now, this is a play that we've already made. Jason Tatum 3 is under 2.5. And what you can see here is when we bring up this screen, and this is the screen that separates us so much from everyone else. Now, you saw some of this on the demo screen, but I just want to highlight some of the things that we have here that you're just not going to see. We have some basic game information. You're going to see that pretty much anywhere, but you have one-click access to alternate lines. So you see in this case, we have probably the main line in the market at 34, but at some of these other lines, you may not see as much sharp action, but you may still find opportunities if you say, okay, well, in this case, we have a FanDuel play. Do we see FanDuel on any of these other ones? Oh yeah, we sure do. We see FanDuel on this one. We don't have any sharp books, really. We don't necessarily identify any particular advantage here, but because we know there's an advantage here, this may be a play that you would want to ladder with a 3.5. It's one click. And did you notice how fast that was? Did you notice how our stuff comes up instantly? Did you notice how when we see the visual here, you can see how everything is oriented in a way where it draws your eye to help you get to a decision. We have this EV percentage. Okay, we know it's 2.8. You can just visually see how far off the market FanDuel is on this Jason Tatum 3's play. This is why we played it, right? We say, you know what? We like all this information, but you know what? We really just want to use a couple sharp books here so we can just go into an edit screen. So not only do we give you the opportunity, the benefit of being able to set your weightings in the first place, in a particular analysis, you could set this individually. We say, you know what? Just tell me what it would look like if Pinnacle and Bet Online were the 2 books we're using as sharp books and we're weighting them equally. Fine. Let's hit save. And then instantly it comes up. Oh yeah, FanDuel still a 3.16% play by that perspective. So now we're looking at multiple different views of the market to be able to tell you that FanDuel, yeah, in this view, it's 3.16. And that changes. What's our bet recommendation here? All right. In this bet recommendation, we can bring it up here. It's 110 is our bet recommendation on that. Okay, great. If I go back here and we look at it, our bet recommendation, 105. So it's slightly different because it's now 2.81%. But you can see the key to this is looking at it from different angles. Nobody offers anything like this. Nobody offers anything remotely like this, being able to change things on the fly, look at things differently from different perspectives. How do you bet sharp if you don't see this stuff? So that to me is why we've built it this way. And we make it so flexible that when you want to see it, you can. Now, if you're a new bettor, one thing that we just did is we didn't change anything up here. We just left the defaults alone. We even left in our hide already bet. So usually I'll turn that off and I'll make a couple tweaks because I'm adjusting my strategy a little bit, but our defaults are just fine. So you go and play with the demo mode for a while, then you get a train station, you come in here. These are decent plays. Now I recommend you always look at what's going on in the market so you can visually see and say, oh yeah, I see what's going on here. Yeah, FanDuel's got a little bit of line movement. Doesn't scare me too much. Bunch of the rest of the market's still hanging out. Not too much line movement. Maybe this is a play you want to make. Maybe this isn't. I probably would lean towards making this play because I generally like to play unders, and I especially like when we see 1+ money in a market full of coin flips. That's a good sign that we're probably getting some value at FanDuel there. So I'm probably going to play that for some amount, right? So those are the kinds of things that I would look at, and I could just see visually, and how long did that take? I'm running my mouth the whole time, and it took me 10 seconds. So that is the kind of thing that you can do once you get good at it. But again, this is a complex instrument. You don't show up with a violin one day and start playing sonatas. It's going to take a little bit of effort, and we're not going to hide that fact. You got to learn. But when you learn, you definitely want to be playing that Stradivarius and not that little plastic recorder they gave you in 2nd grade, right? That is the difference in what we are offering at A-Train Station versus everything else. And so the key is that we're trying to provide as much insight as possible, as much information, as much training as we can. But at the end of the day, the one thing we won't apologize for is making the most capable software ever created. We have the most data, we have the most power, we have the most visuals, we have the most customizability. We have everything that you could possibly want, and we're adding more. There are so many things that we have coming. And so today, by far the most powerful software. Tomorrow, it's going to blow your damn mind. So if you're interested in it, we would love to have you as an A-Train Station member. We have a lot of ways that you can use it. Start getting involved. Start learning about it. You have all the videos on YouTube. We have a free Discord. You can find the link to that in the notes for this video. We also have the demo site that we covered, and we have just a wonderful community of people who are happy to help. So you show up on the live streams, you show up in the Discord, people will help you do this because, quite frankly, there are not enough of us. There are not enough people out there doing this kind of betting and elevating this market to what it should be. It should be a fair game. It should be a fair fight. These books that thrive on fleecing suckers should not be allowed to continue without end. We should be able to educate people so that everyone has a fair fight with these books. Because if you've bet, and most of us started this way, bet based on your feelings, based on the sides, not really understanding the impacts of the numbers, not really having data in your corner, then you haven't been maximizing your experience with sports betting. We can do that together. A-Train Station can be the tool that you can use to really elevate your game and make tons of money doing it. And it sounds like a scam because all the scammers are out there saying similar things, but we're showing it to you. We're demonstrating it. We're showing it every day. I'm teaching it every day. The math, the data does not lie. This is a game that is a data analytics game. The information, understanding market dynamics, understanding why this is effectively an investment strategy, not a gambling strategy. You're gambling just as much in the stock market. We're using the similar techniques in this. And that's what allows us to have much better results than if you're betting based on feelings or what some tout whispers in your ear. So with that, that's really what we wanted to show. Just give you an overview of why the software is so powerful, why we're doing things, and how we're doing things differently from everybody else out there, and encourage you to give it a look. Just be curious, be critical. Go in and say, all right, I'm going to look and see why Train's full of it and why this isn't as good. Go at it. Fine. Do it. But just try, just think about it, just compare. And I think you'll find that what we're doing here is special. And we have plenty of members who would say the same. So with that, I hope you have a wonderful ride on your sports betting journey. We'd love to have you at A-Train Station, but no matter what, thank you for watching this, because if you watched this, then you're on a journey of discovery and curiosity, and you're going to elevate your game one way or another. Maybe A-Train Station's right for you. Maybe it's not. Maybe you need a lower end tool to get you to a point where your bankroll can support the investment. I totally get it, and I totally encourage you to do that. But in the end, if we continue to help one another get some fair fight in this sports betting space, good things are going to happen. And so with that, until next time this train is leaving the station, save the units for the bros and do your betting like the pros.